Sorry about being a couple of minutes late. Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropean. In today's live video, we're going to discuss the pretty scathing words said by Ricky of the Black Acres of the Gambia. Now, I thought this was all over. So, I thought I was going to sort of finish making videos about this. But yesterday he posted something else on his community page, which I'm going to read to you in a few minutes. And it just seems as if he's just taken the gloves off now, and he's like, "Listen, you want to do something? Let's do something." In today's video, we're going to discuss just what will be the impact of what he said, what exactly he said, why he said it, and what is going to be the possible reaction to what he said, because it was an out-and-out accusation. You're going to see this for yourself anyway. Please like, please subscribe, please share if you can. I'm going to say hello to you guys. I'm going to wait for people to come in, but whilst I'm waiting for people to come in, I am going to read this particular community page post that he posted. Some of you guys, I think, have just popped away and you went to sit to read it. I'm going to read it anyway, because it's kind of scathing, and I'll tell you the reason why it's scathing afterwards. Okay. So, wait a minute, what's going on now? Okay. So here we go. So, Black Acres of the Gambia. Greetings, everyone. Once again, this person who I said I was finished talking about is again having us go to the police station again. Y'all, I tried, but I think this evil person wants to bring us into her burning building. But nope. Sorry, once again, you and your husband stole those people's money, and not me or anybody else. Take you miserable butt back on and deflect your problems on someone else. It will not work over here. And yes, y'all know that person will let everyone know about it tomorrow. So, and clearly there's nothing been said up till now from the Blaxit camp, because we know that they're talking about Blaxit. He didn't say it, but clearly we know that it's him. We know that they're talking about Blaxit. I'm going to break this message down actually, because I'm going to break it down for you so you will understand what I'm talking about. But there is something funny about this message. So what is it about this message which is funny? It's the way the person talks. It starts getting funny. Say, greetings everyone. Once again, this person who I said was finished talking about. The spelling, there's a lot of bad grammar in it. Yeah, that's understandable, but it could be just deep Southern talk. That's how they talk sometimes in the deep South, and sometimes they articulate it into their writing and they sort of write it phonetically, if you know what I mean. But no, sorry once again. You and your husband stole those people money, not me or anything else. Take your miserable butt back on and deflect your problems on someone else. I have a feeling it wasn't Ricky writing this. I have a feeling, excuse me. I have a feeling it wasn't Ricky writing it. I have a feeling it was Cynthia that wrote that message. You could just tell by the writing and the way, I don't know, I can just tell. Perhaps she did write it, but under the tutorage of, what's his name? Rick, perhaps he was watching over her, perhaps he was saying what to tell them. But I think that's definitely Cynthia talking. Yeah, I have a feeling to WST off KMT. And hello, anyway, I haven't spoken to you in a while. Yeah, so here we are in this situation. I mean, as you could see, sorry, but once again, you and your husband stole those people money, not me or anybody else. So they're just saying it now. They're just coming out and saying it was you and your husband. Now, they didn't say Blaxit. They didn't say her name either. They didn't say the names of either of these two people, but we all know who it is now, right? That was probably to protect themselves as well. So it's a wild accusation coming from them. And I'm wondering just what is it that Blaxit is doing now? Why are they pursuing this? What's their beef? What's their problem? Do they have time to spare and money to do this kind of thing, to bring somebody to court over a $25 or $30 drone or whatever? It just seems, I don't know, petty, doesn't it? It's petty. Why would you do that? Anybody else in their right mind would have something else better to do, especially if you're lacking on energy and you're still recovering from an illness or a number of illnesses. Excuse me. Oh, God damn, I needed that. Anyway, maybe I've got an illness as well. So yeah, I don't understand why she would continue down this route for. I'm going to read some of your messages. Sorry, guys. I know oh my goodness. Oh, goodness, I can't see your messages. Bugger. I wonder what's going on there. So yeah, so that's where we are at now. We have a number of accusations being made by Cynthia and Ricky. I will say Cynthia and Ricky because it's definitely not Ricky writing this, right? That's for sure. And they seem to have their supporters' support as well, right? But I have oh, can you hear me? Couldn't you write then, Luther? Yeah, so anyway, I'll talk anyway. Still, I have exactly the same glass that you have. I live in the UK, yet my ice cubes last about the 10th of the time yours do. That's because my ice cubes are like this big. They're massive. They are really big, and I stick them inside there. It's warm over here, so I'm just allowing the heat to melt them anyway. Hello guys. Finally, movement, hello. Luther Michaels, hello. Fantastic. Okay, so we have a number of questions that we're going to, that this bloody comment has thrown up now. What is going to be Blaxit's response? Now, there's the problem here, because Blaxit's response, we all know what her response is going to be. Her response is going to be a cease and desist, right? Another cease and desist. And the problem is the sheer number of cease and desists she keeps putting out in public, writing to people, and people are starting to ignore them now. They're not taking them seriously. So people are just ignoring them, and they're just continuing doing what they're doing because they know she's not going to do anything. She's been coming out with this cease and desist because the process of taking someone to court is an expensive one. And let's say you take somebody to court and they lose. That's even more expensive for no reason. So I think with the cease and desists, they're more like her bluffing. That's what she's doing. She's just bluffing. She's just trying to get people to keep their mouths shut. and I think that's just what it is. She doesn't want to actually take it to court, and I think she would be afraid to, for that reason. Does she have deep pockets? Perhaps. No, I wouldn't say deep, but she has an expendable income. But I don't think she wants to start throwing it at lawyers all of a sudden, you know. I think she's got to the point now where people have made all these accusations and she can just continue now. I don't think her reputation can be any further damaged. I think it's hit its residual and she's just cruising. So it would have been, of course, better for her to just keep it shut and just continue with her business. But it seems as though she has some sort of personal vendetta against Black Acres of the Gambia. There's no, I mean, I wouldn't. Why would you pursue something like that? What good are you going to get out of it? For what? Nothing happened. This is the reason why. She's sort of, I don't know, wasting her time. I have a feeling that this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. I think this is not about who can get who, you know, who can win. It's about reputation. I think this is about reputation and it's about egos. So I think there's a lot of hot air, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of bark, but there's nothing else. Neither of these two have the money to go to court, start paying for lawyers and, you know, law fees and, you know, court fees, those types of things. Don't know, law fees, but definitely court fees and those types of things and fines. But neither of them have the money to do that sort of thing. So why? The Crips and the Bloods in the Gambia, yeah. Why? Why do this? Why continue it? What is she trying to prove? It's just egos. Everybody thinks they're a bad man in the gang. It's so weird how these people are. It's really strange, you know. It's really strange to see these. They're kind of elders, aren't they? They're all in their 50s, I think. They're all in their 50s. So it's exactly, Isatu, too much talk. And when you're talking and sending letters, I mean, this is not the UK government, okay? They don't have to reply to your letters. They don't have to reply to your lawyer's cease and desist, which is essentially a letter which tells people to be quiet, please. Or else what? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? This is the internet. Much bigger people, much bigger heads have rolled with much more money, much more power. Their heads have rolled because of this internet platform. No one's going to stop because of that reason. It would have been better if she would just lick her wounds, continue going on about her business. Yeah, there would have been animosity. But it's clear also that Black Acres of the Gambia, they don't want any beef as well. They don't want any of this. They just want to continue with their lives, continue doing what they do. And, goodness, I don't even know whether I should say this. If you look at the source of where this problem occurred from, right? If you look at where this problem occurred from, the theft, alleged potential theft of this drone from the post office, right? Or from this parcel collection place, right? If you look at that and you ask yourself the question, if you look at the background of Rick, the family and how they have done what they've done, you know, is it possible that they saw an opportunity? Yeah, it could be. It could be possible. I don't know them that well. All I know is the research I've done before, and I've seen that their family has been in a lot of ruckus, you know, very un-African American like, don't you think? You know, you don't generally tend to see people at that age getting involved. I mean, even if they get ill, right? even if they have some form of mental illness, some kind, you know, even if that happens, then the absolute vast majority of Black Americans do not act this way. They don't go out and, you know, steal things or even get accused of stealing things. They don't, you know. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I know that there are people out there that sometimes they'll get accused of things that they get accused basically because of the color of their skin, even though they are plain and downright innocent. That's understandable. That does happen, but you got to look at the history and everything else, and you got to take that into consideration and say, yeah, it could have happened. But even if it did, someone stole my 25 euro drone, man, I'd just be like, yo, you can keep it. You keep it. I'm not going to moan at you about, well, I'm going to take you to court, spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars for what? For you to get a slap on your wrist? It's not like the Black Acres of the Gambia or any, you know, small change either. They kind of know a few people over there in the Gambia themselves. It's somebody, I think, do you know what? It's weird. I think whoever wrote this, let's say it was Juliet, let's just say Black Acres of the Gambia. I think whoever wrote this is probably right, you know. This evil person wants to bring us into her burning building. I think that could be it. I think she's trying to divert attention away from herself, and she's trying to muster support from her supporters, from Blaxit supporters. She's trying to muster some support, some sympathy. We've seen this already, right? We've seen this with Rene X the other day, crying, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. We heard what you said. It's not going to change what she said. So, you know, we've seen people say, okay, I need to have this support and I need these people to know that I'm on their court. Which court are you on? This is what Rene X was doing. And Rene X is Satu Space. What are you talking about? Sammy is next. What's going on with her? Why is everyone talking? I've had a few emails about Sammy's treasure, if that's who we're talking about. It's kind of wild. I'm not talking about it because I don't have any evidence. So, but if you know anything, oh dear, what is going on? Can't we just have peace? Can't we just have peace in this bloody realm for a bit? Anyway. Yeah, she seems to have hatred and jealousy towards Bag. Jay acts like she wants to stop YouTuber there. Well, she wants to be the top YouTuber there and push everyone around. Crazy Boyd was 100 correct about Jay, and everyone can see it now. Homeland Africa, is that you, Quasi? Tanya Cisse, sorry, not sorry. I'll emphasize for Bag family before I'd even blink a sigh of concern for you. Wow, it's big words, and that's a strange thing, you know, because Jay has her fair share of supporters. She does have her fair share of supporters. She has a lot of people that believe in her, even though her business acumen is questionable, right? It's clear that she struggles, right? Another thing that Cynthia says, we'll say Cynthia, is that once again, you and your husband stole those people money. So this is another reason why I think it was Cynthia writing this, because if it was Rick would not have directly accused Blaxit's husband of being involved. Rick wouldn't have done that. Rick likes Blaxit's husband. I think most people do, actually. I don't know anyone that dislikes him. Yeah, he's had a few people throw some accusations at him for being a bit soft, but he doesn't come across as a soft type of person to me. And neither does Blaxit, let's be honest with ourselves. She's a tough lady. She didn't come, she got brought up in a tough neighborhood, so they're a tough couple. And they've been through some tough times, and they're with each other, so it's good. Happy for them. And I just have a feeling that that Cynthia wrote this because, yeah, it just cannot be. It cannot come from the men. And I'm okay. I don't really want to start taking sides, doing this man, woman, this manosphere boulder dash. I don't want to go down that route, right? But it's clear that we can see who's wearing the pants and who's in the driving seat when it comes to all these operations that she's sort of targeting towards people. Yeah, and it looks like her husband is sort of sitting in the background supporting her regardless of what happens. And that's the sign of a strong man, I think. That's the sign of a strong man. What else does this tell me? Okay, so they also said they would come out and let everybody know about it, right? They didn't do this. They haven't done it up till now anyway. So Black Acres of the Gambia said that they would spill the beans, right? Or we say spill the beans in the UK. I think you guys say spill the tea. But I genuinely think that they're going to spill the beans. And it would be interesting what they say. It would be interesting to hear what they had to say. Because last year, we're going way back now, this is over a year ago, if you remember, Black Acres of the Gambia was on a live, and they said that there are, because they were getting blamed for scamming people, right? And then they said something about there are English people over here who are scamming people. And I remember thinking to myself, that's total garbage. That is total garbage. That's not happening with English people. That was my first thoughts. God, how I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. I'll put my hand up. Oh dear. So, yeah, because clearly it came out that Shakina was doing what she was doing, right? We know about Shakina, and we also know about, well, we know that there are some dodgy things happening in the Blaxit camp as well. I'm not going to directly accuse anybody of anything, but we know things are not looking completely above board with their business practices. Mr. Uganda, this is really a battle for influence in the Gambia. No room for two at the top. Crabs in a barrel. It won't stop until one comes out on top and the other falls. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. You can just look at what they're moaning about. They're not moaning about anything in particular, right? They're not. They don't care about that. I think clearly at this moment, they're trying to, I think Blaxit is on a campaign of trying to do everything in her power to destroy Bags' reputation. And the thing is that Bags' reputation, it's damaged already, but his supporters are so diehard, they would never turn their backs on him, ever. Even if he was found guilty, it would not make a difference. That's something about his supporters, they may not be, some of them might be inside here, but you might not be the the sharpest tools in the box. I say that. Not all of you, but some of you. You may not be the sharpest tool in the box, but they are die-hard loyal, and they will never turn their back on Cynthia and Ricky, which is a good thing. They may need that. If Blaxit comes out and tries to take them out, then they may need that. I have a feeling that there is something else. Like I said before, Black Acres of the Gambia said that there were people who were British who were cheating people in the Gambia. He said this over a year ago, and I rubbished it. I have a feeling he knows something, and he's going to expose something. I have a big feeling that's what's going to happen, and I think that's why Juliet is kind of fretting now at this present moment. I think she is, and I'm wondering what it is. Just what is it that Black Acres of the Gambia are keeping from us? What do they know? They seem to have their fingers in all the pies. Gambia is a tiny country, so of course everybody knows everybody else's face and name. They know everything about everybody. They know everything about everybody's business. So we are there. We're in this situation where clearly they probably have dirt on each other. They probably have dirt on each other, and I wouldn't be surprised that this argument, which hasn't finished yet, it's going to culminate with some fireworks of, oh my gosh, stories about their past, their histories, current issues with their families, that type of thing. It's all going to come out. And the good thing about Black Acres of Gambia being in this situation is that they've already been outed, right? They already had a lot of people speak about their past and their history and the criminal and everything else. At one point, they were actually open about it themselves, right? They came out and yep, we had problems in the past. We were doing this, we were doing that. So he was open about it in the past. Blaxit, on the other hand, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about her. We don't know a lot about her history back in the UK. We don't know about whether she had any problems, any run-in with the laws. It's definitely, I told you it's not normal in the United States of America for black people to get into problems with the police. It's ultra rare in the UK. Ultra rare. The police in Europe, and I'm not talking about London actually, because London may be its own separate entity, but the police in Europe in general will not aggravate black people unless French police will, but most of the other ones won't, because they don't want to deal with petty stuff. It's almost embarrassing to them to do something like this. And I don't know, it seems as if the American police just kind of, they're so au fait with their own brethren taking these phone calls for no reason, for a chance for them to squeeze off a few rounds. It's a shit situation. It's a shit situation. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to read some of your messages. Why did you retract the message, Pan-African? That's right. Rick and Cynthia are good, down-to-earth, honest people. I know firsthand. Well, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. Mimi, you think people in the Gambia have time for Rick's foolishness? Mimi, who are you? Who are you? Do you know what I saw the other day? I had somebody come on my live and leave a message. And it's really funny, you know, because I can tell who's writing. because they don't do a lot to try and conceal the way they write. They can't change the way they write, so so it just flows out. So I had somebody say, "Oh, this geezer is taking the piss," or something like it's, like a British voice. I was like, I know who that is. I knew it was straight away. I was like, well, it's not an American, is it? Have you never heard an American say, "This geezer is taking the piss"? I was like, shut up. I know who you are. So it's really funny. A lot of these guys think they can get away with saying certain things behind a profile, but then you read between the lines and you're like, yeah, it's really funny. Anyway, so, let's have a look. I don't think Mimi is her, but it'd be funny if it was. LAPD is very professional. Unfortunately, they're dealing with a batch of really ignorant clowns on the streets. There is another problem with the LAPD. There is systemic racism within the LA Police Department. There always have been. Especially, I mean, if you know the LAPD from the 1990s, they were racist, bigots, and they knew it, and the police chief at the time was open about it. So it's not even a question of it. There is no argument. They just were, and so yeah, they're the same over here too. But the laws actually mean something more over here. You can't sort of, oh yeah, those rules don't mean anything to me. Over here, we don't have, in the UK, there is no such thing as qualified immunity. If you're a police person, you kill somebody, right, and that person wasn't warranted to be killed, or for any reason, there's no such thing as, oh, I feared for my life. You're going to prison. It's really that simple. If the other person was armed. Now, there was one instance during, I think it was 7/11. Was it 7/11? September the 11th in the UK, when they had all those terrorist bombings. There was a point in which one guy got killed and he was totally innocent. And that policeman, he went to court many, many times. And then he finally found him not guilty of negligence, because it wasn't really even his fault, really. He was, I don't know, it's one of those things. But the LA police have a long history of systemic racism, and I doubt if it's gone, if I need to be honest with you. Which is why I'm happy I don't live there. Ice Cube's still there. Oh, damn, man. I don't think I drank enough today. So I really wanted to keep this to half an hour, but do you know what? Let's carry on for a little longer. Sorry, Isatu's place. Mary and her drunk son, John, tried to set me up many times by putting things and money where I can see them, thinking I would steal them. Ooh. Okay. US police is a joke. It's Klansmen in blue uniforms. They are. A lot of them are just outright. You've got to remember, when they say that America is the American dream, they do mean it. They mean it. They live their dream. They have this fascination of killing people that look like us. It's such a weird, and they will go through school and they'll go to college, to the police college, to the cadets, and then they'll fight their way through so they can have that badge, and they're proud of it. They're happy with it because they know that at some point that chance is going to come around where they can squeeze up a few rounds. Ooh, and it makes them feel so good. That is so, and that's what types of people they are. They hide it. They hide it. They try to do their best to hide it, but yeah. Do you remember that guy that guy who had a mental, he had something anyway, some sort of PTSD. He had some sort of episode, and the mother, again, I don't know why this happens, but the mother called the police, and the police came to the house, and he was only a young kid as well. And this was in America, and the policeman had his drawn. He had it drawn, and the kid came to the door with the knife, and the policeman went pop, 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 and when he was on the floor, he pulled it down like that, pop, 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 on top of him. Whilst he was on top of him, black kid. That policeman went to prison because he didn't know he was being filmed. I can't remember where this was. Maybe one of you guys remember, but this happened. You may need a. Oh yeah, I know. Who's taking? I don't know. Yeah, at some point I'll get one. Racism starts at political top and works its way down. America, Black Caucus. Do you know what? Pan-African. I think we've gone past that stage now. Why are we still fighting for a seat at their table? We shouldn't have to. We just shouldn't have to fight for a seat at their table. We should, right now, be having those people groveling to our feet. That's what should be happening. It's not happening. What's happening is we have these people still going out acting as if it's, as if we've just been emancipated. It's wild. They still have this, and they're brought up with this culture inside their mind that it's okay. It's almost become casual for a policeman to do something like that. It's always been this way, but now it's been solidified more into normal people's minds, into normal folks' minds. It used to be sort of, taboo to talk about. No, the police don't do anything like that. They're honest and innocent. But now it comes out, we all know what they're like, and they're still supporting them. Yeah. Happens all the time. Police use mentally ill to practice target shooting on. I totally agree with you. I'm just going to read some more of your messages. I live here and I support them 100%. You need to be careful though, WST, because they don't support you. Not all of them. The 100% word is it's a dangerous thing, because if you're, you do know that there is systemic racism inside American police, inside international police, and not just against black people, against people of all colors and races. And it's just the way it is. And you don't have to accept that, but it just is. It's not going to change because you don't accept it. It's a horrible truth. And, my mother had the choice, because my grandmother and my grandfather, my grandmother went to live in the UK and my grandfather went to live in New York. And the kids got split up. And my mother, who's one of the kids, she went to the UK with her mother. And I am totally grateful. I'm so happy beyond belief that she chose to go with her mother to the UK. Not only because she wouldn't have met me, because my mother and father didn't meet in Jamaica, they met in the UK, right? So I wouldn't have existed. That would have been bad. We need Ton to exist. But I'm just happy that I've managed to be able to live the quality of life that I have, and had the chances that I've had, because whilst the British police are perhaps even just as racist, but there is so many rules and regulations for them, to the point in which it's difficult for them to act out their racism. Okay, so that's where we are. That's the main difference. Over in America, the rules are more lax for them, and so yeah. WS2, we are more racist against our own. I live in a war zone. Yeah, I mean, define racism. You know, you have to define it. There are people out here, black people, who dislike other, you know, people of their own kind. But is it because they? I mean, there are people like that, but they don't go around shooting each other because of the color of their skin, do they? If you look at all the crimes, all the crimes in the US, the vast majority of crimes, the ones that do have victims, most of the times the victims are the same race as the person that committed the crime. So it's not a strange thing for us to be shooting each other. The Europeans are doing it too. The Mexicans are doing it too. The Puerto Ricans are doing it too. The Dominicans are doing it too. The Haitians are doing it too. The Jamaicans are doing it too. It's not a weird thing. It's totally normal. You know, I have a laugh sometimes when I watch these investigative programs, and you've got a couple, you know, just an all American couple. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you have one of those couples, and then the man kills the wife or something, or vice versa. And before you even finish, I'm sitting back there and I'm like, I know why he did it. Does anybody know what's the main reason why most of these European Americans, Euro Americans, why they always go and off their own wives or their, you know, their significant other? What's the main reason? It's so weird. I bet you someone's going to get this straight away. Come on, I'm waiting for someone. Say it. Who's scamming today? No, there you go. Felicity Powers. Thank you. It is money. It's for life insurance. Why do WS people, why do they always do it for that? Life insurance. It's so strange. Cold-blooded, but strange. Okay, I'm just going to read some of you. I can't imagine those 15 plus victims of fraud addicts will want to live on a diaspora estate. That's probably true. That's probably true. I think people are beginning to see more and more because there are some negatives to living amongst the natives. There are some negatives to it, but I think the positive and I haven't lived in Africa before, but if you can weigh up the positives compared to the negatives, clearly if there was more negatives than positives, people wouldn't be going over there, right? So, BR, they are creating segregation. I think they've already created that segregation, and it was always going to naturally happen because these two are, you know, whilst they are probably both Pan-Africanists and they say all this, it's likely that they don't care. They don't care about Pan-Africanism. Clearly, they don't care about it. I've been, but not going back. I'm too much like Tom from Boondocks, but without the wife. Oh dear. Yeah, I think they're creating segregation, but it's happening naturally. That's what I'm trying to say. Hamster wheels and black in the B1 community. Yeah, dear. Sorry, what the hell is this? What is that? Oh. Mr. Uganda, if you have 15 plus mods, look in your bin to see who has been banned. You will be shocked to see all your subs inside there. The word Pan-African term has been so overused and abused. It has been.